We've got a Kamala speech to look over as she steps up to become the official Democratic nominee, where she is now laying out the contrast between her agenda and one of Donald Trump and the fascists. So let's pull just a couple of these clips to discuss what a Harris administration could look like.
When workers join together and demand what is fair, everyone is better off. Understand, and I say this everywhere I go, understand, you may not be a union member, but you should thank unions, and I'm looking to the cameras in the back of the room, not them, but the people who might be watching. You may not be a union member, but thank unions for the 5-day work week, for the 8-hour workday. Thank unions for sick leave and paid family leave and vacation time. Because the fact is, unions helped build America's middle class. And when unions are strong, America is strong.
Unions, whether you are in one or not, are the cause of most of the workplace benefits that you probably take for granted. As Kamala said, if you enjoy having sick leave, if you enjoy having holidays off, if you enjoy 40-day or 40-hour work weeks, thank unions. Don't thank the owners, thank the unions that fought for those rights tooth and nails. In states with more union representation, those states have higher generalized wages, they have a higher minimum wage, they have higher rates of insurance coverage with better health benefits overall. Unemployment is easier to access and obtain in these states. They have more voting opportunity, especially for in unrestricted terms. And one of the things that we pride ourselves the most in on this country is being a beacon of democracy. Yet when we go to work where we spend most of our adult life, it's a dictatorship through capital. You should fear those who don't want workers to have a voice, to have a vote in the workplace, even though they are the backbone of all of those companies. A company can go weeks on end without a CEO. A company without workers will fail immediately. And this is just another danger of Trump, who appointed anti-union judges, has a history of being anti-worker and anti-labor, is he would roll back all of these great benefits and successes that unions have seen that have spiked under the Biden-Harris administration.
We are in a fight for our most fundamental freedoms. And to this room of leaders, I say, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on.
And this stretches just beyond women's reproductive rights, though that is one of the major ones on the ballot, and they are definitely at stake in this election. If anyone is going to fight tooth and nail for those kind of rights, it's going to be a woman whom is directly affected by it. But in states that have restricted abortion, maternal mortality is already on the rise. Now imagine if they did that on a national level, but to other freedoms as well that are on stake. The right to equality for opportunity for minority groups through DEI, through affirmative action, allowing for more representation of colored people in institutions and workplaces as CEOs and housing. Trump's administration rolled back fair housing laws that held communities accountable if they discriminated against people of color, and education as well, where Black people are grossly underrepresented in STEM fields and top-level colleges, and only one party is fighting for these rights, while the other wants to demonize and remove DEI, affirmative actions, and take it even further, taking African-American history out of American history and not teaching things like slavery, instead saying, oh, well, they helped African Americans. Now let's move on.
So we want to ban assault weapons, and they want to ban books.
Republicans pretend to be the party of freedom of speech until it's about anything not pertaining to their right to say the N-word. They don't want same-sex couples in books. They are so fine with it that they're fine with 11 people being responsible for thousands of books being banned. Over half of the book bans were done by 11 people in over hundreds of districts, single-handedly making the choice for other kids and for other parents pertaining to their kids, which Parents making choices for their own kids is something Republicans, again, pretend to defend until it becomes about LGBTQ youth. And you've got to think of how it affects those exact LGBTQ youths who already wake up and may be surrounded by people who don't think or act like them, whether it be at school or even at home. They don't see anyone who thinks or acts like them in the media, on TV, at jobs. They read books and nobody in those books thinks or acts like them. Rather than accept who they are, this could cause them to feel abnormal, feel weird, feel invalidated. And this is why representation will always be one of the most important things.
In 2004, on Valentine's Day weekend, I was one of the first elected officials in the country to perform same-sex marriages. So here's the thing. It pains me so to think 20 years later that there are some young teachers in their 20s who are afraid to put up a photograph of themselves and their partner for fear they could lose their job. And what is their job? The most noble of work, teaching other people's children. And God knows we don't pay you enough as it is.
Trump has a long history of speaking out against same-sex marriage. Project 2025 stands to not give them the same benefits that traditional marriages or, religious marriages, like the ones that God sees fit. Yeah, whatever they want to say, right? Those marriages receive a certain amount of benefits that Project 2025 stands to remove. Trump appointed super conservative judges with the sole hope that they would overturn Obergefell versus Hodges, the Supreme Court ruling that made same-sex marriage legal. Biden came in and passed the Respect for Marriage Act that made this set in stone a right for all people. And under a Harris administration, those rights would only get pushed further. This November, you can't forget, is an election on the basis of equality versus fascism, democracy versus authoritarianism. And I can tell you firsthand that my vote will be with Harris. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that can interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.